Hey, this is Buzz signing in with episode number 16 of AirWaves. And in this episode, it's another unboxing. This time, it's my brand new Xiegu G90 HF SDR transceiver. And I am excited. And you say, well, Buzz, you're doing an unboxing, but there's 3 boxes. Well, that's because I purchased a bundle. I got the transceiver and 2 accessories. All this came from radioddity.com, and they had a special there where I could get all 3 of these basically for the same price, including shipping, that it would have cost just for the transceiver itself if I had bought it on Amazon. So let's get started. And you know the old saying, little things are not great things come in little packages. And what we've got here in this first box is a CE19 expansion card. Let's see if we get that in there. Okay. This was part of the bundle. And we've got here, let's see. Called the introduction, but basically what this is an interface, plugs into the back of the transceiver, which allows you, well, I'll just read what it says here. The CE19 data interface extension unit is suitable for extending the ACC port of the X5105, which is a previous transceiver that they make, and I think it's still available. But of course it also works with the G90 to facilitate user access to PC or other data terminals, modems and so on. The expansion unit extends the mini DIN 8 interface to the commonly used 3.5 millimeter stereo socket and extends the mini DIN 6 interface for the XPA 125 interface independently. And I believe the XPA 125 is an amplifier that you can use with the radio, which is convenient for users to use. Okay. So what we got here in the box, I see we've got an assortment of the 3.5 millimeter cables. Okay. There's actually, these have the plug on one end and have bare wires on the other. And we have the DIN cable. And here is the CE19 itself. See if I can get that there. Okay. I'm looking at the camera over my shoulder, so. And it has the different jacks around the corner, around the edges of it, where the DIN cable goes in. Okay. And the outputs are labeled on top. It says, one says PTT con, so the push to talk connection to the XPA 125, the AF connection, and a data connection. Okay. And also there are some other plugs that goes with that. Okay. So we'll put all that back in there and set it aside and move on to box number 2. Now this I'm really excited about. some paperwork here, which is instructions for the Oddity G90 H1 cooling bracket. Now what this is actually a mount for the G90 radio, and it goes on underneath the radio, has a cooling fan built into it, and they've got some pictures here of it mounted to the radio. For some reason, Alexa is talking to me in the background. I don't know. I said something obviously that piqued her interest, but. And they also include the same instructions, it looks like, in German. So that's interesting. But here we go with the cooling fan itself. Now that's interesting. There's a little label right here. It says, "Be careful the fan." Okay. So this is a stand for the G90. Something right there for now. And you can actually see the circuit board underneath there. The power connection, you have two types of connections there. I believe, I'm not positive, but I think you can plug the base into your power source and then run the radio power cables into this. Okay, but it has fold down legs. So it's going to sit like that. Okay. And we've got two other okay. These brackets here apparently looks like go on the side here and hold the radio in place. That's apparently what that is, what it looks to be. But, you know, I'm looking at this for the first time, just like you are. So, I am guessing as to how all this goes together. We'll set this off to the side just for now. And now we get to the big boy toy. It's the Xiegu HF SDR transceiver G90. And we have this here, which it is a note that says, "Dear customers," and it basically tells you about the warranty. You know, basically this is about the warranty. It's interesting they have it in English and then the same thing in Chinese. Okay. And here's the manual. Now I did, when I bought the radio online, they had a link to download this operator's manual. And I think that the one that you download is maybe an updated version of this, maybe supposedly a little easier to read. I don't know. And this looks pretty thorough. It's got lots of illustrations in it. That's good. But one thing I do want to say is I bought this radio with my own money. This is not a review. This is simply an unboxing. Later on, once I've had a chance to set it up and use it a little while, I will do a review video. And when I do, it will be, you know, my honest opinion. As I said, I've purchased this with my own money. It's not a paid review. They didn't send me the radio for free. Now this, again, This is the operator's manual, but this appears again to be German. It's interesting. It has a longer title. This one, the German says it includes the automatic antenna tuner, whereas the English version doesn't have that on there. And I can tell by feeling it, for some reason the German manual is thicker than the English manual. That's interesting. I'll have to take a look at that later and see if it has maybe more information in it. So, okay, we've got an RS-232 cable here. Now I did watch a video on YouTube, and this RS-232 cable is used to attach the head unit of the G90, which is removable, to the main body. So you can mount the head somewhere else separate from the rest of the radio. This is the power cable, which has a fuse, inline fuse in it, and it appears to be a blade type fuse, like an automotive type fuse. Here we have a USB to a 3.5 millimeter plug. I'm guessing that is used for updating the radio, because this is a software device radio, and yeah, that's what that would be used for. This is the microphone cable, which has a RJ45 type connector on each end. So that's interesting. It means you can completely take the cable loose from the microphone. And if you look at the microphone here, you can see that it has lots of keys on it. I think I did read somewhere that all the function keys that are on the front of the radio, the control head, are also on the microphone. So you can do it all from your mic. So that's pretty cool. And now, that's everything. The radio itself. Okay. So, first thing that I notice is this is very heavy. Surprisingly heavy. Apparently it has a large heat sink in it, which basically the bottom and both sides appear to be a heat sink. But on the front, we have, I would say, first of all, too, the width of this looks to me to be 4 to 5 inches in width. Maybe that might be a little deceiving, but yeah. And depth-wise, I would say 8 inches. Okay. First thing I notice here too is on the top of the control head, you have a mode. You have mode up and down switch and band up and down switches on top. That's interesting. Also, since we're looking at the top, you see the speaker is right there. Nothing on the bottom other than the heat sink. Okay. So what I think I'll do here is stop the video and see if I can get a little tighter here on the face of the radio, because it is so small. Okay, so here we are zoomed in on the head of the radio, and you see we have these two knobs here on the side. This one here appears to be the volume switch, which is interesting. It does say volume. It will spin completely around. There is no stop on it. And this down here, hold on a second. Just says Xiegu. Doesn't have any other labeling on it, so I'm not sure at this time what that does. But here's a power switch over here. Now I do know, I did see in a video that power switch will of course turn the radio on and off by doing a long press, but by doing a short press it will actually black out your screen, but the radio will still remain on and the audio will still, you still hear the stations that you're receiving, but that'll help save on battery life. Now this is a 20 watt radio, so it's kind of in between, you know, the QRP type 5 watt radio and you know, a step up. But that's one of the things I liked about this radio, is that it did have more than 5 watts, and 20 watts is enough to make it interesting, I think. But then we've got a series of buttons here across the bottom. Okay. And down the right and across the top. And then we have this right here, which I also saw in a video, is your multi-use button here. Basically, by pressing it, it's the enter or OK when you're in the menu, and you can use it for, you know, lots of different things on your screen and changing settings on your radio. This here is the function button, and I'll come back to these here in a second. I just want to spin it around. Oh, here on this side you'll see we have the microphone input is right here, and on this side we have the headphone jack is right here. And this right here, I saw this described as the data port for upgrading the head. Now, when you're going to upgrade the firmware on this radio, I did see that you have to program the main unit and the head unit separately. Okay, there's different firmware update for each one of these. Hopefully this will be updated to the latest version, since I just purchased it. But I also saw something that said that this bottom jack right here was user configurable, could be used for more than one thing. What those other things were, they did not explain, but that's something, once I get into it, I'll see if I can figure that out. Then across the back, of course, we have the SO239 UHF female jack for your coax connection. This green jack right here is for a key if you're doing CW with the radio. Then it has a yellow port here that's labeled COM, and I believe that is the input for updating the firmware in the radio. And then you have this IQ, which that one, it's a pink. That one I'm not really sure what that one does. And this is your accessory port, and that's where, let's see, where did that go? That's where this comes into play. You connect this cable into the accessory port, and it goes into the same port on this right here. So you can tie it into other pieces of equipment. This is your DC in jack, and this right here appears to be a ground post, since it can be tightened and loosened. You notice too that you have these brackets not only on the front but also here on the back. Let's flip it on around back to the front again. Okay, so we're looking back at the front of the radio again. As I think I mentioned earlier, this is your function key, and it has a little LED there that will light up when that is enabled. This is your AB switch here. This says MWAFC. This one is tune. This one says POW, so I guess that would be power. This is key. and this is lock. And down here, this is your V/M. This is an AGC, so it does have automatic gain control. And underneath it, it says SPL. So all of these, and this here under the V/M, there's a dot. Not quite sure what that means, but this is where the function key comes into play. These are multi-use buttons here. Apparently, I think the dot must mean that there is not another separate function, because I noticed all these down this right column have the little white dot next to them. So those are single use, but these others are multi-use. This one says NB, so it would be noise blanking, and then it says, looks like F-H underneath there. And this one says comp. It has a built-in compressor circuit for the microphone, and that says F through L on the bottom. And this one here says pre and ATT, which I guess is attenuator. I believe this is used for the filtering, and now that I see that, I think also that was what this button was used for, was when setting up your filtering. Again, this is not a review, just an unboxing to give you a general idea of what the radio looks like. We'll be doing a review later after I get a chance to hook it up and use it. But I want to show you here how this looks. On the stand. So that's a really nice feature. Again, this was a bundle. You know, I got the radio, the stand, which has a built-in cooling fan, and the accessory, the E19 accessory port. So you can connect it to an amplifier that they also make. This company makes that will work with this radio and another previous radio, the X5105. So got the whole thing, including shipping, for $4.99. And the company, Radioddity, on their website it says they're based in California, and they have a California telephone number. And I ordered it, and this is what's amazing. I ordered it Saturday morning, and they said it would be here Tuesday, which is tomorrow. It actually arrived pretty early this morning, Monday morning, so I ordered it Saturday, showed up on my doorstep this morning, Monday morning. It came from DHL, and it was shipped from China. How they do that, I have no idea, but it happened. Again, this is not a commercial for Radioddity, but I will say that, you know, they got it here really quick. The communication has been excellent. It kept me updated on the progress of the shipment. By purchasing it, they gave me some bonus points that I can apply towards any future purchases. And the reviews I've read about them online is, you know, they had really good reviews. So they say that their customer support is excellent. So hopefully I won't need any of that, but it's good to know that it's there just in case you do need it. So anyway, this has been an unboxing of the Xiegu G90 HF transceiver SDR radio. I'm anxious to get it hooked up and start testing it, checking it out. And if it's as good as what I think it's going to be, it should be a lot of fun. So this is Buzz, episode 16 of AirWaves. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please subscribe if you haven't already. Share and like the video, and we'll see you down the dial.